me, I'm going to go straight to the point. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you an update. Remember, I came to you a couple of days and gave you an update on the health and care worker visa and the immigration, like they wanted to bring migration levels down and what has happened so far. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you an update, yesterday's update. There was an update on the 8th of May 2024 with regards to migration from overseas and what the government plans or what things are being proposed to the government of UK to reduce migration from overseas. And these proposals are not good. Are not so good in my opinion. You let me know what your opinion is, but I'm going to be sharing with you in today's video. Hopefully my network is okay because I'm a bit out of Belfast where network is not good. So as we all know, guys, there was a minister called Robert Jenrick. Robert Jenrick is the former migration minister who was being interviewed yesterday and was proposing some changes that he wants to see undertaking here in the UK. First of all, what they did is the first thing which they've done is to look at the impact of migration on the economy. Has it benefited the UK so far, or has it not benefited the UK? And they're saying, I'll read because I was jotting some of the things down. They've actually said that they want to propose what they call a 30-point plan, and I'll only mention what affects the health and care worker visa and what also affects the students who want to migrate from overseas. First of all, they said that the changes which they want to propose today would finally return numbers to a historical norm and deliver highly skilled immigration system voters were promised. I'm sure in my past few videos I've been telling you that this is politically motivated, like on the political side, the UK or whatever teams or whatever parties promised the people in the UK that they're actually going to bring migration levels down, and they have not been able to deliver. In fact, it has been the opposite. So there are elections which are coming in 2025, and before those elections come, they want to see major changes happening in UK. So on the point of people migrating from overseas, they've actually said, one, it has not helped the UK economy because, one, it's putting pressure on housing, public services and infrastructure. And secondly, they said high migration levels have failed to enhance the economy and have worsened the UK housing crisis. So they are saying that more people are coming from overseas, but unlike in other countries, because other countries are saying they are benefiting from people coming from overseas, they're saying the UK is not benefiting from people coming from overseas. One, they stated that in London alone, the flats, 67% of private rented flats are owned by people who are from overseas, 67%. And then they said, in addition, 33% of the social housing, new social housing placements were being given to people who are coming from overseas. So that on its own, they're saying it does not benefit the United Kingdom. In addition, they move on to say it has put significant strain on public services and infrastructure. Migrants may bring skills with them, but they cannot bring additional roads. They cannot bring additional schools. They cannot bring places of GP surgeries. Unprecedented levels of migration levels have put upward pressure on all those things. So it's a major complaint here in UK that, fair enough, you might be saying that you are bringing people from overseas for, to bring in skills. But even if they're coming in with those skills, they're not bringing schools with them. They're not bringing roads with them. Neither are they bringing any GP surgeries with them, meaning they are putting a lot of tremendous pressure on the economy here in the UK. And then to put more pressure, because this pressure is being put on Rishi Sunak by the former migration minister, he says it will be unforgivable if the government did not use the time before the general election to undo disastrous post-Brexit liberalizations that betrayed the express wishes of British public to lower migration levels. So as you can see, guys, it's all about what the British actually want. Good morning. I haven't greeted you. Good morning, Sinini. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Pretty. Please smash the like button as you come in. So as you can see, guys, let me continue because I'm bending here just for a few minutes so that I get some fresh air because it's hot here. I'm sorry. As you can see, guys, what they are basically saying here is because of migration levels, because no one is benefiting. Not really no one is benefiting. Even if they are benefiting skills from overseas, it's not helping them in terms of infrastructure. It's not helping them in terms of pressure on GP surgeries. It's also not helping them in terms of, all the roads and infrastructure and everything. It's all affected. So they are saying that they want to, first of all, they've proposed a 30-point plan, and for the health and care worker visa, what is being proposed is, of course, this has not been implemented, but you all know, guys, that when they propose new things, like I've come before you with new videos where they are proposing to make some changes, and in 1 or 2 months time they make those changes. Remember when I gave you an update on the reduction of the people coming from overseas a few days ago, the James Cleverly actually indicated that as the year progresses, they are going to bring in some more robust changes to migration. And what has been proposed is a cap for health and care visa to 30,000. This was proposed by former Tory Minister Robert Jenrick. I'm sure if you've been following the political news, you know who Robert Jenrick is. From this proposal, they want, if you're looking at the health and care worker visa, it's not only the care workers who are under the health and care worker visa. We're looking at nurses, we're looking at doctors, we're looking at healthcare assistants, we're looking at radiographers. Anyone who works in the hospital is under the health and care worker visa. And they want to keep all those people who are coming to UK to 30,000 per annum. But if you look at just the healthcare assistants alone who came to UK last year, about 18,000 were from Nigeria, 17,000 were from Zimbabwe, 27,000. If you add that, that's way above the 30,000. And I'm looking at the healthcare assistants alone. So which means if they put a cap to the healthcare assistants, they put a cap to nurses, they put a cap to doctors and everything, and it's all just under 30,000. It's a simple way of saying they no longer want to recruit from overseas, and they want to make sure that people who are coming from overseas are very, very few. Not only that, if you have been applying for a job to come and work as a nurse here in the UK, if you've been applying to the NHS, because I've seen over 20 people have been emailing me their rejects from NHS. Once some hospitals are telling nurses who are coming from overseas that this is not open to nurses who are applying from overseas, it's only open to third-year student nurses who are here in the UK. Simply meaning they don't want to take nurses from overseas. They've been instructed in those particular hospitals, they've been instructed not to take nurses from overseas, but to take nurses who are third-year student nurses here in the UK, which means that plan which they were saying they want to use the domestic workforce, they are actually implementing it by telling nurses who are overseas that no, we do not want nurses from overseas. This hospital is not recruiting nurses from overseas. We in fact want third-year student nurses who are here in the United Kingdom. Secondly, there are so many, not one, not two, because I've seen so many people who've been rejected in NHS hospitals. If you are coming from a red list country, they no longer consider you, because most of the time they say applications from people who, even if you are from a red list or whatever, they'll be considered. But people have been told that because you are coming from a red list country, this NHS hospital has been told not to recruit from a red list country. So if you are in a red list country, the chances of you getting a job in the NHS are becoming slimmer and slimmer and slimmer, because they've been told not to hire from the red list countries. They will tell you that, oh, for ethical reasons, we cannot recruit from this hospital. For ethical reasons, we cannot recruit, from Nigeria. We cannot recruit from Zimbabwe. We cannot recruit from Ghana, Kenya. You know, all those 42 countries or 47 countries which are in the red list. If you're applying to the NHS, I saw one person who has had 12 applications rejected from the NHS. They'll tell her, or it's for third year student nurses, they'll tell you, oh, you're from a red list country, you can't. 10 of the applications rejected telling you that you are from a red list country, which means the government of UK, undercover, they are making sure that they are reducing migration levels through those measures. So if this proposal is to be put into place, if it's 30,000 people who are only going to be allowed to come through the health and care worker visa, if you divide it amongst nurses, doctors, healthcare assistants, physiotherapists, and so forth and so on, how many quotas do you think per each discipline is going to be allocated? Let's say maybe they just allocate 5,000 to each discipline. So it simply means that hiring from overseas is not going to be their option until the elections, because the main driving force behind all this is the elections. There are things which they promised the British people, who are the ones who are actually voting, to say by this time we would have reduced migration levels. Imagine they say they're going to reduce migration levels to 300,000, but then last year it was almost 3/4 of a million. So which means they are failing to deliver what they promised. And in an effort to make sure that they deliver what they promised before the elections, they are going to continue to take robust measures to reduce migration levels to the UK. Do you have any questions, guys? There's Sophie and GK saying you guys are misleading people. It's not me who's misleading people, my darling. I take this information straight from the newspapers, and the beauty of it is I'm going to link everything in the description box so that you read for yourselves, because I am not a magician who automatically dreams of things that the minister has said then come and share here with you. I only share information which is authentic and researched, and I always leave links in the description box so that you will read for yourselves. So the links are going to be in the description box. You are going to read for yourself, and you're also going to decipher what the information means to you. Understand, guys? Because it's not about me convincing you. I only share information, and you go and do your own research and so forth and so on. You understand, guys? So as you can see, guys, I'm already melting here because it's a hot day in Northern Ireland, and I'm in the car. Couldn't do the video in my home because there's construction going on. I wanted this one to be a very short one because you can see I'm literally melting. Just give me a few seconds while I go through the comment section and see if there are any questions. What is the way forward? Let this noise die down a bit. I'll answer the questions. I need to air myself before I melt and die. All right. Someone is asking what is the way forward. The way forward is, guys, for now, kiss goes by favor. Can you hear me, or you're hearing the noise in the car? All right, so what it simply means now, guys, it doesn't mean that because they have said, because a proposal, remember what a proposal is. You know, this thing of stopping dependence from coming from overseas, it was a proposal, right? And stopping what you call the students bringing in their dependents, it also started as a proposal, right? And if it is a proposal, it doesn't mean automatically today they'll wake up and say today we're stopping people from coming from overseas. They always give you a time frame that in 6 months time, in 1 year time, because if you remember, I think for the students it was mentioned sometime in April, May or June of last year, but it was only implemented in January. So it means between now and whenever they change the proposals, you still have time. You understand, guys? You still have time to actually prepare. If you are coming, you still have time to actually prepare. You still have a few months, whether it's a few months, 6 months, 7 months, or 10 months, or whatever it is. You still have that time to prepare before any changes are implemented. That's one. Two, if you have your things in order do not only place your eggs in one basket, because there are people that I know who only say, oh, I'm going to apply for jobs only NHS. You understand? Someone says, I'll only apply for jobs only in the NHS because I want to go and work in the NHS. Now is the time for you to stop being choosy. Even if it's the NHS, you apply. Even if it means you apply to care homes, you apply, you go and work in care homes. It doesn't matter, as long as you are able to bring yourself over to the United Kingdom, if that's what you want to do. Guys, I'm literally melting. I don't even know why I started this video in the car, because I am literally melting. All right, I have to take off my jacket before I die. Thank you. What is the fate for those already in the UK? For those who are already in the UK, it does affect you in any way. That is, if you are in an authentic company, let's say you are working as a care assistant, because the problem is a lot of people have been working in companies which are getting their sponsor licenses are revoked. You understand, guys? A lot of companies have had their sponsor licenses revoked. You understand? So because they've had their sponsor licenses revoked, it's very difficult nowadays to actually get a switch from one company to the next company, because the Home Office is not issuing out the visa sponsorship. It's not issuing out the COS. And why do you think the Home Office is not issuing out the COS? As you can see, guys, those in politics, political parties who promise to bring migration levels down, they want to be seen to be doing something about it. And obviously, if they come and present, just like I said last week, they came and presented and said that the numbers have reduced, 80% of visas have reduced, that the Home Office has actually said 80% of visas has reduced, whatever, for health and care workers. Yet, the fact on the ground is that the Home Office is not issuing out the certificate of sponsorship. People are applying, people are waiting, people, it's not the British people who are applying to come and work in UK, and it's only the people who are overseas who are applying to come and work in UK. So if you go before the British people, who are the ones who are voting for you, who are voting for whatever political parties, if you go to them, who are the ones voting, obviously, if you tell them that the figures have actually gone down, they do not know that people are not being given the certificate of sponsorship by the Home Office. But what they know is that, okay, this government or this political party has actually said the migration levels are coming down. Are we going to vote for them or not? Because if you have promised someone that you're going to bring migration levels, you need to deliver that if you want them to vote for you. You understand? Because the British people are going to look at, okay, they said they're going to do this. Have they managed to do what they promised that they're going to do? If they have not managed to do what they said they're going to do, are you going to vote for them or not? Or between this time and the 2025, when they're going to be voting for people who are overseas, they're going to make it a point that what they promised, that they want to bring migration levels down. Because if you listen to Robert Jenrick, when he was speaking yesterday, if you go on Sky News, there are so many videos of him speaking yesterday. He said they want to reduce not to 300,000, which they propose, but to tens of thousands. As you can see, they're proposing only 30,000 cap for health and care worker visa for everyone who's under the health and care worker visa. You understand what I'm saying, guys? And they are very certain that they proposed a number of policies that should be implemented ahead of looming general elections. You understand? So they want this to be implemented before general elections, which means it's all about the general elections, and they have to prove it to the people who are going to be voting for them that something is being done to reduce the migration levels. Let me see if there are any more questions. What about us that they've already applied for our COS and waiting for the Home Office to issue? So you give up now. How do you give up? You don't give up because they're waiting for it to be issued. So it's either it's going to be issued or it's not going to be issued, because waiting for a certificate of sponsorship does not necessarily mean that you have a job. You only have a job when you now have the certificate of sponsorship in your hand. So if you don't have a certificate of sponsorship in your hand, you don't have a job. You only have a job if you have been issued with a certificate of sponsorship. So the only thing that you can do at the present moment is to wait for your COS to come. If it comes, then you go ahead and apply for a visa. If it doesn't come, or if they tell you, because there are people who've been told after waiting 8 months, they've been told that unfortunately we're not going to continue with you because the Home Office has said this. So you don't know what the Home Office is going to say. Another thing which has been proposed by Genric is that they want the Home Office to be split into two. That is his proposal, that the Home Office is to be split into two and to have a department, a whole department, which is going to be specifically looking at migration levels. A whole department which is going to be looking at bringing migration levels down. That is his proposal, because they are really, really serious about bringing migration levels down. As you can see, they don't want to betray the express wishes of British public. Understand, guys? So this is me. I'm simply giving you an update on what I have read, because I'm always keeping my ears on the ground so that whatever I hear, I come and share with you. Such that if you are preparing to come overseas, but you're already informed, and you also go and do your own additional research, because this is my own research. You go and do your own research. I'll leave links in the description box. And I'm melting away, guys. So last few questions, then I'll round off this live before I die. Yeah, send Juluga. Yes, I'm Juluging, guys. I'm melting. I didn't expect it to be this hot, but it's hot today. I'm melting away. Any more questions, guys? Because I just wanted to give you a quick update before I die in this car. Any more questions? All right, let me see. Loud and clear. Okay. Everyone is asking what is the way forward based on information. It doesn't mean, like I've already said, this is a proposal. It doesn't mean that it's automatically going to be implemented today. Whatever proposal, whatever measures they put in place. Remember last year when they said dependents are not going to be able to bring in, care workers are not going to be able to bring in their dependents. They said 6 months down the line, like 11 March, and it took 6 months to 11 March. So if there are new proposals, if they approve, let's say they approve today or they approve tomorrow, they will not say next week do not bring your dependents from overseas, or next week stop hiring from overseas. But what is happening is they have already started. If you ask nurses who are applying, if you ask carers who are applying to the hospitals, there are quite a number of hospitals who have been directed